welcome to
Hi, welcome. Toonche doesn't know how to run this show.
I know. I'm used to you doing it.
That's why. On the Rec Yard, Women's Prison Podcast, where we are live on the Rec Yard every Wednesday night. Oh, her lighting's good. Hi, everybody. We are live on the Rec Yard, Women's Prison Podcast. I'm Marci Marie.
I'm Toonche.
And I'm Angel Carroll.
Angel Carroll's on the Rec Yard with us, y'all. We are really chilling tonight.
We are.
Yeah, we are just hanging out, and we want to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. We're going to be talking about, and I didn't think this through because y'all are way over there, and I don't have a mouse over here to read comments, which is...
We're over here again. I love it.
Here we go. I'm going to be all up in your grill.
I love this.
Is this a touch screen?
No. Do you know how to get to the comments?
I gotta take my I can't see it close like
we needed a little bit of lightheartedness tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to highlight comments, but we do need to be able to read them.
Yeah.
You want to sit on the scooter?
Can I bring this closer?
God bless. This is why we prep. I'm fixing to just turn it off. And
We're happy.
Camera. You can't make sudden moves or it's
okay.
blurry. It's blurry now. Jennifer, you're going to have to take control because I'm going to lose my shit right now.
No, so we just can't see the comments.
Are you going to leave hers highlighted like that?
These people, everybody, our community here is going to think that we're.
Because I just drove in Dallas traffic.
Yeah.
To get to Allen. We're in Allen. Why are we here?
We're here for, we are presenting at the Judicial Commission on Mental Health's, their big summit.
Yes. And also, I kind of was thinking when you were like, we're chilling, I was like, we're chilling like a villain, which is really aligned with our topic tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dangerous women.
We'll tell people what we're presenting on.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So the title of our presentation, really panel, is Dangerous Women, and the fact that the criminal legal system paints women as dangerous from just existing and our experiences, whether that be through experiencing substance use and abuse, mental health disorders, personality disorders. I'll be talking about adultification bias and how Black women and brown women are perceived as just less innocent and needing of nurturing, but hypersexualized in our legal system and not seen as victims. So I don't know. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's the slides turned out well. Marci worked really hard on the video that we're gonna present. We're gonna shake them up a little bit.
I think we're gonna rock the world, truly, because it's kind of a different vibe here at this conference. You know, we go to a lot of conferences that are like all formerly incarcerated people, and it's kind of like a high energy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more professionals in the criminal legal system.
That's so humble. Professionals. These are like folks like the judges at the top courts of Texas. We'll have Supreme Court justices, Court of Appeals, some service providers, probation officers. So I'm really excited. Yeah. I feel like it's almost healing for me to come here and be like, I'm an expert. I know what I'm talking about. And I know you've been here before. I don't know, Marci, were you here last year at the summit? I'm excited for you because I think it can be intimidating, but they're like average people.
Yeah.
And the things I hear, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know why I was intimidated because you're a dumbass.
But like you're just people.
You're just people.
And I think it was actually kind of putting together the session, the proposal for what we're going to present on was based on our conversations at the last summit. Like,
it was terrible.
The work that the Judicial Commission on Mental Health does is really important. It's really innovative, yes. And there are still some things that we need to work on. And listening to some of the comments around personality disorders and girls of color, in
Objectification.
substance
Crazy.
use, like among the attendees and some of the people that were presenting. I mean, we were like looking at each other. I was like, I'm getting pissed off.
And it wasn't just us as like advocates. It was, we had judges there that were like, whoa. I had a probation officer. They were like, whoa. Like, I think that says something too.
Yeah.
Also of how far we've come as an industry. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And they have, like, I ran into Christy Taylor, who's the executive director of the commission. And she's like, I'm so excited. So I think we're like wanted, which is also nice here.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about it?
Oh, I feel fine. Like fine for tomorrow. I'm not mentally okay today.
What do you want to tell
just all
everybody?
day?
Like, what's going on today? We're talking about mental health. So
What's
going
no,
on?
just I mean, it started this morning. I woke up. I normally wake up at 6 when it's time to get the kiddo up for the bus stop, and at 7:20, I woke up, and it's not my wife's fault. It's not Brittany's fault that she let me sleep, because she said you were sleeping real hard.
Oh,
But then that just was the start of my day, and it was just bam, 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 bam all day. And
But you're here?
yeah.
How are you feeling now?
I'm here. Very stressed.
Still?
Yeah, I feel like I look like a cow on this tape.
you do not.
not.
Truly, I want to jet.
You do not.
You
You
don't.
don't.
You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
If we were in prison on the rec yard, like I would have had smuggled coffee out.
No.
I would have been drinking coffee out of my water bottle.
Well, do you want your coffee right now? Did you
Yeah, I can
finish
get
it?
it for you. I can get it.
No.
If I get it when you not bring it.
Well, I think it's something that we talk about with our disorder, right? Is like the ways that stress and feeling overwhelmed can activate those reactions and responses. So hopefully as the evening goes on, how to simmer
I'm
that.
not nervous about our presentation. Like it's the great thing about our topic is we, just like Angel said, we're the experts. Like we did
Mhm.
really,
And we know what we're talking about.
and so we have a basic outline, and then Angel made beautiful slides. So it's bam, bam, bam. That's not the problem. Like that. That's not. It's just, this is the
It's
problem
just
today.
It's just life, right? And you hurt your foot.
Yeah, I have a broken foot.
I don't know if y'all see this scooter.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. Oh, it's hugely frustrating. Yeah. Just getting around, just packing the bag, like the way that the house is set up, and like you make one trip to the bathroom and think, okay, I have everything. And they're like, God, I have to go back that way on this with this broken foot, and trying to get that done. And then trying to just do the normal house things like pick up as you go, and just the frenzy of getting kids off to school, the aftermath of that, and trying to get that settled. And
When I jacked up my knee when I went hiking with the girl that I was trying to impress.
Sorry, I'm trying to tell my aunt that
It's okay.
because I got to eat later.
It's all right, but that's a whole separate episode. That particular person, but I really overextended myself doing all this hiking, walking around Chicago,
trying to impress her.
Had this big old backpack. My knee, by the time I got off the plane back home, I barely got up my apartment.
And it's 3 floors. Yeah.
So once I got there the next morning, I was like, I could not put any weight. It was so painful. And it took 3 weeks. And bless Melissa Cleveland, who I've known since high school. She came over and did my laundry and cooked, and because I couldn't leave. I tried to go down the steps and I couldn't. So, when stuff like that happens, I remember all the disabled ladies that we were incarcerated with, and and also in the broader society, just how this world is not set up for people in the
for here. I mean, for the outside world, for sure. But I have thought lots of times, I mean, several times a day, thank God I'm not in prison with this broken foot, because I was really fortunate not to have an injury like this. Because that was those folks when it would have been a trip on medical transport, 8 hours, handcuffed to somebody, like not, and that's the broken part. That's before they cast it or anything. I mean, right? I think it would have taken,
because you would have been frustrated, and then the person you were handcuffed to, they would have been wanting to help you as much as they could, and then now y'all mad at each other because the bus ride's 4 hours.
Over here.
yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom. I'm not getting up again because now we got to drag all your shit with us.
Man, pick up your foot.
My first ride on that transport bus, I was coming from Plain State Jail. I had been locked up 8 months, and at Plain State, you're not with any big charges. Like if you have a murder charge, or anything really big, a bigger charge, you don't get in. It's not a maximum security unit, so you're housed in solitary confinement until they ship you off to a big girl unit. And so I'm with kids, doing smaller crimes, and it was like a county jail vibe. And so I'm coming from that environment and going to a maximum security unit, and then a maximum security unit that they're like, oh, it's bad there. Like it was Lane Murray, and they were like, it wasn't. Yeah. So I'm already like super nervous. I remember packing my stuff that night before, zoning out. And I remember the officer being like, are you on something? And I'm like, yeah, because I was disassociated, completely disassociated.
Yeah,
I had my friend that was my bunkie, that was my sister. And, we were doing everything together, and I felt comfortable there. Imagine thinking I was comfortable at Plain State Jail, like one of the raunchiest, dirtiest sewer in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But anyway, I get on there. We have like a layover in Gorey, and then that next morning we go to line up for the bus, and they call your partner. And it was this chick she was a little bit older than me. And we get handcuffed together, and we get on the bus, and we sit down, and she gets to talking, and she was like, had like 2 life sentences and had 27 years already under her belt. She was like old school. And I was like the greenest of the green, like, and at one point she's like, you can lay your head on me. And she was not being funny. She was just being normal. Like she was just like, cause she could tell I was like, and she's like, you can relax, and we were trying to sleep. It's like 8 hours that we had still left to go. And I'm like laying back, and she's like, if you lay your head down, you can lay your head down and sleep. And I remember thinking, there's no way that I'm doing that. And then we get to Lane Murray, and she ends up being one of the coolest people, but I just remember feeling so frightened and scared. But there were people on that bus with broken bones riding that boom, 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 right after surgery, right after I knew a girl that pulled the pins. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
They do it because they don't want to go back to the hospital.
Hey.
When it's time, they're like, hey, you're going to come back in X amount of weeks, and we're going to pull the pins out. They will put a little cut and pull those metal pins right out.
But is that not I guess I'm just curious, because I also think as someone that has worked in facilities too, I feel like also could that not be a write-up in itself? Or
sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's,
but nobody's following up.
Right.
That's the thing too, that I'm like, no one's following.
Yeah.
And
if the law saw it, then you could get a write-up. But nobody in medical is saying we need to check back on this person.
Yeah.
And they don't care. Even if medical chain comes around and they're like, why didn't they take it? They're supposed to get those rods out. They don't care enough to actually go and look and say, why didn't you go on chain? Right. It's just like,
and how do you magically not have a rod?
Right. I was gonna say, where is the rod? And
now, I pulled out my own stitches.
Well, I mean, everybody does that.
Well, so I got hit in the head. I got hit in the head
by someone?
No, by those big rollers that you put in the back of 18-wheelers to push boxes out. You connect them. They look like ladders.
I wanted you to come up with a really good story.
That sounds like me when I'm like, this pulled right into me in my car.
Yeah.
Wait. It's really heavy. Okay, so we leaned it so we would stack them up against the wall, which was an absolutely
stop it, fell on you.
Safe. Yes. And they're tall. They're really, really tall. Okay. And so they've got these hooks on the end that you hook them onto the other one. So we lean in them. So I always hated because I was not very strong to begin with. So we would have to like. So the one that we were moving hooked to the one that was, and so I could see it out of the corner of my eye, and
Slow
there was nothing I
motion.
could do. And so I braced myself. It was in the commissary at Riverside, and it hit me in the back of the head. It hit me so hard, everything turned yellow, like vision wise, like everything was in yellow. And I was like, so I was real embarrassed. It wasn't my fault, but like all the bosses are there, all the people that I work with are there, and everybody just stops. And I was like, I'm okay. And then all of a sudden I just felt like just a rush of hot fluid. And I had blood dripping off my hands. And I looked up at my boss and I said, they're like, calm down. And I was like, because I didn't know how bad it was, just pouring blood. And so they call medical. And we're waiting, and my boss is like screaming on the radio.
Somebody now.
And so you see the nurse coming up, and she's got her, with her keys, and she's swinging.
Yeah,
them.
because that's how they respond.
And they leaned out and said, "Come now." And I kind of stumble out there, and they're like, "Go sit down." And we have, white uniforms. My shirt is red, and they were like, "Oh!" And so they run up, so they take me to reception. The PA like throws like 4 stitches, and I just have blood running into my eyes. My hair was long then. Okay. So I go back to the door.
Sorry,
like dried up hair. I look like Carrie.
Yeah.
Okay?
I bet.
No change of clothes. And I come back to Riverside. I'm walking down the 4 dorm. Okay. And Marci knows. So I'm walking up to the dorm. It was truck day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking up. And a girl opens the window, and I think that she was going to say, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And she goes, "Did they get perms on the truck?" I said, "Does it look like I know?" And she was like, "Well, you don't have to be a bitch about it." And I was like,
"Do you not see me?"
Like I had a shaved part of my head. Wait, and a wrap that the lady, you would think that they would at least know how to dress a wound. It was wrapped like haphazard under my chin, and so there's like a twig of hair up and a patch, and it's just sliding up my head, and my shirt is stiff from blood.
Those commissary workers got big time grief when it was truck day, because we wanted to know, like, oh, y'all been out of coffee for three spins or 3 weeks? Did you get coffee on the truck? Did you remember like when they were out of deodorant, and everybody's like, did you get deodorant? What's new? Is there anything new? We had limits at Lane Murray. So there were certain items that you could only get, like limits. You might only could get 2 jalapeno chip. Mm-hmm. Because they only had a certain, you remember that? Yeah. We see y'all in the chat, and we're so
what did they say?
We're so glad to have you, but we are going to answer questions, so we're going to be looking at that also.
Brandy said, "So good to see y'all. Glad y'all are doing well." Eric said, "Welcome in." Kim says she's on her computer. I think they're trying to give directions. I know someone who got a charge for that. Oh, a weapon charge, yeah. A couple of weapons, yeah.
We are taking questions. We're really just chilling. Y'all have control of the show.
Oh, there's an update on Stephanie. She's back walking and at work as a clerk at the moment, but ready to get back at it. Kim did some hearts and rainbows and a flag.
Nobody's saying anything about my haircut?
You look amazing, Marci. They didn't say that.
Oh my God. Now, I feel like you're skipping
they said you did
over.
great. Tina said you did great at the Sunset Advisory Review.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Lori gave you a hug. Robotic foot, it said. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Lioness
in the house.
Amanda.
And Jerry.
Yes, Jerry said, "Hey, friends, I'm 82 now and dangerous." Okay, I'm a millennial Gen Zer, so the dangerous is my simple request. Dangerous.
We don't know what you're talking about.
High School Musical.
Is it?
Fine.
Oh.
How do I not know that?
I'm like,
because we're older than that.
I did not say that, but Ashley Tisdale, it's
I'm glad we have you on to connect with the younger crowd.
Catch up.
Wait, what about, did you see on TikTok where everybody was like, the churches were singing like a prayer?
Yes.
And it was like, does nobody remember the video and how Madonna got so much blowback about like a prayer? Like,
Okay, people have said they just now commented on your hair.
oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What was the
Beatrice said
comment? Is it?
They said it was okay. No, I'm just kidding. They said it was great. They said nice hair.
She was in mental health crisis also when the haircut happened.
You know what? The older I get, I'm like, I understand why Britney Spears should.
It's this primal urge to be like, I don't know what else to do. Like I don't want to rip it out. I'm just gonna shave it.
You know, I've shaved my head twice.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
This is
The one time I did it, one time I did it and I dyed it blonde. And in college, they called me Angel Rose.
I want to see it.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Yeah, I've shaved it twice.
Are you gonna do it again?
Absolutely not.
No.
I worked very hard for these long blondes.
Can you? You want to shave your head?
Possibly.
You should.
Yeah, Brittany would love that.
Solidarity.
Brittany would love
What
that.
did Brittany think of my
She's gonna be
hair?
like, I don't remember.
I want to see photos of you with long
I
hair.
think Brittany
Who,
liked
me?
it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so innocent.
Okay, so this was the second time that I had shaved it.
Oh, you were still so cute.
Oh, no, it's bad. But yeah.
I want to know.
It's cute.
I want to know how many days you got off work for that head injury.
I did not. Well, so my boss, he was trying to calm me down. He was like, "Well, Toon, I guess you're going to want to be off from work." But I didn't. I went to work the next day. And then I had to remind them to take the stitches out because they had just forgotten. So I go over there and they're like, come here. And they clip, and they pull, I could feel it. I don't think they were ready to come out because it felt
You
very
can feel it now. I mean,
weird.
you probably had a concussion and should have been in observation.
That's what's probably wrong with me now.
Oh,
I think
there's
it's a
lots
little
of
bit
things
more. I don't know
wrong.
that
Yeah, that
has
might
anything
be
to
one
do with it.
factor.
But we love you.
That's probably one factor.
Well, they left the others in there. So I was sitting there watching TV and I was all my children, right? And I was like, what? And it was soft. The wound was still
probably had
and so I grabbed it and I was like, I pulled it out and I was like, it's a stick. And my friend was like, let me see. And they were like, they left a whole bunch of pieces. They just clipped them. And then they were like, get out. And so I had to dig.
Oh my gosh.
And I have a little scar that, can you see the scar?
I don't want to look at your head. No.
And additionally,
Oh, wait, I
don't-
do. It's a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Additionally, I don't know why they're surprised when we say incarcerated women don't trust medical.
Exhibits A.
Yes.
Also, this is another reason why people should be able to unionize.
Mm-hmm.
Working conditions,
Well, and it's OSHA doesn't apply in there.
which is bullshit.
Yeah.
So you're saying that I have to get accreditation by you, but I am not protected.
That's exactly right.
But also, if I technically am property of the state, you think you would want to keep me in
The
tip-top
last
condition.
job I had before coming home, I was kind of on a special cleaning crew, and it included, if you can imagine Walmart ceilings, it's high warehouse looking open ceilings, and those get really dusty. So it's 20 years of dust. So I would climb on a 20-foot ladder on the top rung and hold a sidewalk sweeper broom upside down and sweep these huge sheets of thick dust. No mask to protect my breathing. No harness. No, my boss was great. He was a really fun guy. He really helped me those last few months. He was professional, but also talked to me like a human, which really helped transitioning into the free world. But he would just kind of be on the ladder up there. And I thought, well, if I fall, what are you going to do? That was the safety measure. I'm right here. Don't worry. And I thought,
call medical and they'll be here with their mind.
If I fall off the
minutes.
top of this 20-foot freestanding ladder, and I remember just stretching because you have to stretch
God,
and
mercy. Was it Henley?
Yeah, at
Oh,
Henley, at the
my
Henley unit.
God.
It's so interesting too, hearing those stories because my background is in TYC, contracted facility, so a little different. And then because I was in foster care, there's now I'm just hearing like there was still also privilege there because I'm like, yeah, you can make me do that, but I will be coughing when my case manager comes. And
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
do you really want me to do this?
Yeah.
Like, God, I'm just thinking like, you know what I mean? Like the differences, but still like, fucked up.
Another one of our job
I cuss on here?
opportunities.
Oh, you can do whatever
Yeah,
you
we
want
don't
on
care.
here.
It's the rec yard.
Yeah.
We can totally cuss as long as the law's not around. So yeah. I was thinking, another part of my job was pouring vinegar and baking soda in the shower drains. Did you ever have that?
Oh,
job?
a little bit of bleach, and then you have a bomb.
Yeah.
Who told you to do that?
That was a weekly thing through the whole dorm. So
You
I mean,
remember-
through the whole unit. That was my job. I was that. He'd come wake me up.
Oh,
They'd
yeah,
say,
they
"Your
said they would
boss
not
is
be
here,
doing
Marci.
it.
Your boss is here."
We still love you, Toonche.
who does?
The people.
The people, we do too.
So I want to ask, do you remember, since you're talking about the drains, when they would pour Shark Attack in the drains?
Oh, how it would that? What was that? It would
Wait, what's
smell.
shark attack?
It's
like this-
chemicals.
Kind of like liquid plumber, but on steroids.
Okay, what's liquid plumber?
So you pour it in a drain to like eat away the.
Oh, it's like Drano.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's like industrial strength, so it's called Shark
Mm.
Attack. And so when drains were really, really bad, and they didn't want to have to dig them up, well, let's try this first. And every once in a while, they would come in and pour it in all the drains, and it would smell like rotten eggs.
Your
and burning
eyes
hair.
would be watering, and your nose would be hot. Like you know how when it's chemically,
Yeah,
and
it's
you
chemical,
feel it
yeah.
in your nose hairs.
And even the back of your throat.
Yeah.
It's like, I
And
don't
we're
know
just
how I
there
could taste my left
breathing
lung
it
right
in.
now. But I can't.
We're just there breathing it in. Hey, I had those cubicles that were by the toilets and shower areas. That was rough.
Yeah.
Those folks had
I
it bad.
had one of those beds.
You did?
Yes.
Oh,
Girl,
see,
I
they
do
they
remember
moved
enjoying
me.
getting high off
Yeah.
the bleach. Though.
Oh,
Did you?
Give us some bleach.
I never saw anybody do. I mean, I'm surprised because we had access to powdered bleach, but I never saw anybody like sniffing
Get a
it.
little hazy. I come from a generation where we sniff sharpies,
Yeah.
so I had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I did see people like crush up non-aspirins and get snort 'em. a non-aspirin.
Baby, now they just straight up do
Yeah, they have access.
K2
K2.
and
They're smoking it.
from the staff.
Yeah.
From the staff.
They're
And it's
smoking
always
it.
the staff.
All of our folks, especially hobby unit, do better. You know, we're hearing from a few other units, but it's real bad at hobby. And our ladies in there don't lie to us because they would just tell us straight up. I have a hookup and it's in the free world. No, their hookup works for TDCJ.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
the staff. It's always the
Yeah.
staff. Speaking of, I mean, this is probably a dumb question. Because I don't know if it's a dumb question. Did any of the ladies on the inside ever listen? Do they have ways to listen? Y'all are aware?
No,
No.
not that we know of. But
Okay.
you know, the prison radio shows on tablets now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do a
Excited.
shout out. There's somebody I miss.
Well, we on the prison. Well, not next time I'm on the prison radio show, we can shout them out, and they can be on the app.
Will you tell Aaron I said hello?
Aaron, who?
Erin,
Um,
Erin, the lady that I got into it with about Erin on TikTok. Erin McGough.
Oh,
I went starts with a C.
yeah, I can't think of her
Kathy.
name.
Kathy, yes.
Yes.
I used to talk to her about
Yes.
aliens when I worked at the law firm.
Yes,
If anyone talks to Erin.
Aaron
She's-
Kathy.
Yeah.
I have so many updates for her on these aliens.
I know they're coming out of the ocean.
I know.
Right.
I mean, she would call about updates on her case, and it'd be like, so hey,
So check it out. The U.S. government over the past
Aliens.
year has had 2 hearings that said, yes, there are aliens, and actually looks like they're living in the ocean. Everybody's like, huh.
I mean, octopus are aliens. I would argue that those are aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Jellyfish and stuff. And everybody's just like, well, okay. Yeah, Erin,
Well-
Erin's a sweetie.
The condition of other things make aliens not the biggest threat. I mean,
Right,
and
like-
I have a family that I love dearly, and I love my On the Rec Yard family, and have so many great things going for me. But honestly, on the parking lot, I turned a corner and I thought, what if somebody was like speeding around the corner right now and just knocked me out? I would just be all right.
And I'd hope they had some good fucking insurance.
Yeah.
I'd roll
What
out
if it
that
had
car.
What if you had hit me?
Well, wait a minute.
That would
I-
have been wonderful.
Really, I
You
tried.
know, our podcast would have took off.
I know. Wait,
On the
especially.
Rec Yard would have gone international if you had ran over your co-host.
Well,
especially with your record.
Damn, Marcy
Oh my
just
gosh,
went
she
real
went
hard on
there.
me.
She went there. Jerry said I was a clerk till I hit 70. My bosses were good till I went to special projects. She hated me. for
Oh,
some reason.
Miss Hardcastle, that motherfucker,
Miss
that
Hardcastle.
evil ass lady. She was mean. She was mean, Jerry. Nasty.
Eric said, "Can you tell us what's going on with the recent death on Hobby?"
I don't know any new news with that death. The family has contacted me, and I put them in contact with other people's families that said, "Hey, our loved one called, and they want it exposed." I did one video on it. The nickname is Little Rico, and I'm embarrassed that I don't know her name fully, but although also I don't know that I'd say it right now, but yeah, I mean, we don't know things that we do know is that she was at the door crying for help, that she was saying she was grabbing at her chest, saying she couldn't breathe, that she was having chest pains, that the dorm was going crazy, and we know that the laws didn't care. And the laws, not only did they just ignore it, but they blatantly, and I have the one man's name, the officer, and I have passed that on to the family because they're looking for an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
They're mad.
Mm-hmm.
And, but he literally came in and gave him the bird instead of going to check and to see what the problem was, and made this like, cry baby kind of motion. So yeah, he's a jerk. And so then rumors are there's a lot of K2 in that dorm, and rumors are that it could have been that. But even if it was that, the staff should have responded.
It doesn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
And additionally, if Brian Collier, if you can't keep drugs out of your facilities, you need to have Narcan. If you can't keep your staff from bringing drugs into your facility, then they need to be armed with Narcan.
Yeah. Can we say that again? If you can't keep your staff from following the law, because people are on the inside for not following the law. What the fuck are you
literally.
Yeah.
Literally. And then there was somebody that testified at that Sunset Commission last week, and she said, the thing is, if you're an addict, the most triggering place you could be is in the penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that problem and drugs are made available to you, you are going to do them. Yeah. There's not that's not a really easily to fight. Addiction is hard enough to fight out here.
Mm-hmm.
But in those conditions, and
you're not providing treatment.
Right. You're not even giving them a pathway to even give them the tools that they need to be able to say no to drugs.
It's almost like they don't care.
Yeah, we were somewhere. I don't even. Oh, it was last night. We had an event. Linus recently teamed up with Texas A&M, and we did a report on the way that book bans affect basically people housed in women's prisons, LGBTQ community, and women housed in Texas prisons. And that's what one of the students said. It's just, they say that this is banned because of safety, but really,
there's no connection here that we can see where it's safety. And then we were like, well, books that not that I want any book banned, but we were talking about how true crime books about people that we knew that lived in the dorm with them.
That it's quite literally a safety hazard. Yeah. That we have seen violence behind those books.
Like, people reading somebody's true crime book and something popping off, right? Yeah. Like, I would sort of understand if those were banned, but they're not.
Well, and those actually, I would say should be banned more than something that's talked about.
Right.
Or at least, I think at one point our unit did say, oh, so-and-so's on this unit now, so we're going to take her book. We're not going to let her book in anymore. So, but then people already had the copies. And then when somebody got there, that was kind of a, and you were housed on maximum security too. We were around a lot of high profile cases, and it's not so much that we were like, ugh, the TV said you did this day. We were still like, hey, you want to play 42?
Right.
It was that. But we did want to read. Like, there was fascination
absolutely,
in reading about somebody's true crime.
I will never forget being in DC. Some of my favorite guys were like they're just everyday people, right? And one of them, y'all know, because he's a very famous domestic terrorist and the leader of the Proud Boys. And just interesting, like, how did you end up here? Like, I don't know. But he's unique in his own sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, yeah, I saw
great business advice.
Yeah.
a
a young lady did a TikTok, and she was just really upset. She was looking at prison time, and she's just like crying, saying, if anybody has done time in Texas, please message me. And I bet 50 people tagged me easily in her video. That video of hers went viral. And so I just like really laid it down. Like, I just sat down and did a whole 5 minutes, like, do this, don't do this, do this. And you're going to feel this way, but know that everybody felt this way, kind of thing. I have completely lost my train of thought.
Well, I have a question actually.
Thank you.
Did she recognize, I mean, obviously I'm assuming if she's crying that she's recognized the seriousness of it. I'm curious though, because I remember one of my girls in DC, she was like, yeah, I'm going to a medical unit in Texas. And like, I heard it's like, that's the best place I could be. And it was me and another, my director, she's also from Texas, which is why I was there. And we were like,
yeah,
it's hard.
Roswell?
Yeah.
And like we were trying to explain to her, like,
no.
this is not like, and because of her crime, we're like, baby, girl, like,
yeah,
this
you
isn't
need
gonna
to
be
mentally
easy.
prepare
But
yourself.
she was like excited, like she
Yeah.
asked for it, and it was just one of those things where there was this disconnect. So I'm curious.
No, she definitely seemed worried and concerned, and she realized the seriousness of it. I think that she had a loved one incarcerated, maybe her man, if I'm remembering correctly. But but one of the things that I told her was, like, literally, I remember going to the big girl prison where the big crimes were on the maximum security unit, just being very fearful. But really, everybody in there was just people that either circumstances put them on the wrong path, or
Relationship. It's usually a relationship.
Often, or they were with some man. There was this man. How many times did you hear that story?
Well, I met this guy.
And he said he loved me. Yeah. No.
And then the guy gets out before them. Isn't that something? The guy,
because the woman doesn't have the information to get off or to even like plead.
Yeah.
It's always the girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, what I think it was, don't get me lying, but like somewhere between 75 and 85% of women in Texas prisons, their crime is related to being a victim of domestic violence or trafficking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, even with the Clemency Project, like the governor's office being like, we can't really do this for everybody because we let too many women out of prison.
Yeah. Well, I was locked up with a lady that she was younger than me, but she was 16 when she caught her crime, and her mother, and so y'all on Lane Murray know who I'm talking about, but I'm not, out of respect for her, this is her story, I won't say it, so I'll just generalize it. But she was a child victim, prostituting with her mom at 16. That means you're being trafficked.
Right.
That does not mean you
cannot consent.
And her and her mother ended up taking one of the clients or a life, and a man ended up dead. And they both, she got, I think, a 60-year 60 years with no chance of parole. And then there was the new law passed that if she got to go back to court. And so then now she's eligible for parole after 30.
Yeah.
But still 30 years for something you did at 16 with your mom.
Yeah.
I mean,
right. No, it's crazy. And then still 16. That's that we all talk about. Texas, you can go in as early as 10, but that's 16, 17 threshold. I used to lie about my age a lot.
Yeah.
Because it was like the moment they realized you were 17, oh, you're getting rid up so you can get out there. So
Yeah.
I was 16 for about 2 years.
Yeah.
That was that was real. Scary. Yeah. The system failed her.
We were locked up with so many people that went in as kids.
Well, I mean, that's almost all of us that were even at Sunset when we were talking about how parole didn't meet our needs, programming didn't meet our needs. And it's like, I was locked up as a kid. I was locked up as a kid, like 15, 14, 16 years old, for 30 years. And like, you gave me a 3-month program and expected me to mature.
You're good.
30 to 3 months. And it is, there's a lot of women that we knew.
Yeah.
Including us, right? Like kids.
Now I got a violation because I didn't shine my boots right at 11 years old.
What? Wow.
It's crazy. They used to set us up for failure.
They
man.
did.
Sure they did.
It was like I remember being in TYC, and I hate behavior modification. I hate it, right? Like it is like, and not using like thinking errors in terms of like dialectical behavioral therapy or cognitive behavior. You learn the different ways of thought patterns that get you into trouble. Yes, that's appropriate, but that's not how they use that.
No,
it was more like, oh, you're blaming. Oh, now you're justifying. Like you could never
say anything that
it was always something.
But then also they would be. But then, like, some of the things they would do around it would be crazy. I'll never forget this one guy. And if I ever saw him in my real life, I'd trust and believe. Like, it would be y'all would actually have to bail me out. There's a few people.
Baby, we would be in there with you. I don't think you understand how this works.
I need somebody outside to get me out.
Mom, me and Toonche and Angel are.
So he literally would come up, because I'm blind as a bat, I have contacts in. He would come and take my glasses. And be like, you're acted up. You don't need your glasses. You don't need to see.
The staff would punish you by taking your glasses.
Taking our glasses. Yep. And I'll never forget, actually, because we're kids, so we learn to get around it. So, like, one way I knew I would piss him off. He did something. Yeah. Anyway, I would always have my Bible because he couldn't take that away. But he literally,
wow.
And it was just constant.
And that was their version of behavior, whatever.
Yeah, like just constant antagonizing. I remember one time we had what was called dorm training. Okay. So it was the room was, like there's cells, with the big metal doors, right? And it was single. Our dorm was single celled. So, and they would do this to us for hours. They would take turns and they would do it for hours. Step to your door, open your door, step out, close your door. And if anybody made any noise in shutting that door, do it again. And we would do it over and over and over. Wow. Like it felt like you were and they would look for any little thing.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you tried, it was always moving the goalpost.
I mean, I know they do this in adult too, mess up your room and then come back and
fix it.
Crazy, fix it. Yeah. Hector Garza, though, that RTC, we gave them hell. Because it was like all college students who wanted to be probation. It was really weird. I don't know if you had any folks like that. And they wanted to be like, I remember there was one guy, he wanted to be a police officer. And they're all like UTSA students. And they'd be like, what the hell? And we were the worst of the worst.
Just like
we did have some fun.
Well, there were a lot of fun times in grown-up prison too, for sure. I just realized that we could look at the comments here. So I'm not like trying to be like real rude, but I was like, oh wait, maybe we could answer some here.
Someone said, I see, okay, so I'm going to go, so 2 comments. Please don't judge me, but I want to know your thoughts on this. Women inmates turn me on. Okay. I have fantasies about it and thought about wanting a pen pal in prison to find my soulmate. I actually had a pen pal once.
Well, we know somebody that worked out. This is, but the second part of that person's question does seem like, I wonder how, like, we openly talk about it and that's how we cope. That's how the 3 of our personalities kind of cope, is just to be able to dark humor and we just put it out there. Sometimes we don't even realize we're maybe traumatizing other people.
right. For each other.
Yeah.
Y'all are the only people I actually feel comfortable talking, so I really don't talk about shit.
well, I feel good about that.
Well,
Yeah.
does. That's
Yeah. And
feels really-
for other people, it could be triggering, like other people that aren't our personalities or that get out years later and then kind of flash back on it. We know we have good friends that get out of prison and are like, "Psh,
I'm done. I don't want to talk about it.
Which I don't blame people
Yeah.
either. Like, I think for me, and my aunt's about to be here, so I may have to leave soon.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But to that point, I'm so grateful for the work that I do and that, like, just as a collective that we do, because I feel like we're giving back. But there are some times where, like, I break down and I'm like, fuck, I wish I didn't have to, like, I didn't have this burden of, like, going through this and having to care to give back.
Mhm.
But, like, I'm still grateful for it, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all feel that way.
No, I think, there are times, all of it, right? Because without that, we wouldn't have this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of times that.
And we wouldn't be who we are, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I can't say that I would go back and change it if I could, but it's just like, fuck.
Like
I
I
don't
wish
know.
I wish it wouldn't have been this way. But
Yeah, but this is what I was.
See, I think it
Yeah.
might have been different for me because I just effed my kids off so
You get that.
traumatically.
Yeah.
For sure. Like even people are like, well, you met your wife in prison. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, if it was meant to be, we would have met on the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have done that to my kids. And Brittany would not have. She would rather have never known me than for my kids to have gone through
No, that
what
makes
they
sense.
did. So
Yeah.
I don't have that, but I do have, like, there are moments that I miss it. People ask me, like, do you must miss prison? And I'm like, well, actually I do, because people that I love dearly.
This is
and
y'all sisterhood.
yeah. And like today I'm fumbling around my house and I don't have help, but I'm glad I don't have a broken foot in prison. But if I had needed help in there, I'd have had 20 people surrounding me, giving me mental support, emotional support, help with whatever. Like if I stubbed my toe and wanted to cry, they'd been like, girl, I'll do that. Let me, and that's not how it is out here. And it is among our community, but we're spread out.
I do miss that. It was like, man, I hate this bitch. Like, you need something. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yes.
I don't like you, but you can't punk her out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that one hole in the dorm. You're like, everybody hates her. She a bully. Everybody hates her. She bullied team. But then the law come in. They start yelling at her and treating her bad. Like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on.
This is what we're not gonna do.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you need a statement? I got you, boo. Yeah. 'cause
And
she
then
ain't
they
going
leave,
there.
and it settles down. Then it's like, okay, but I really can't stand this.
Yeah.
Like, I still don't like you, right? But yeah.
No, that's real.
Amanda Cassidy asks favorite Taylor Swift song.
Goodbye.
Oh my God. Amanda's on her journey right now to Swifthood. So
Why are you out here converting people?
She
hey,
is.
because when the Lord moves on your spirit,
you know how some of the church folks get a little aggressive with it, and that's how you are with Taylor.
I don't push it on anybody. It just, when it flows to me, I just flow the energy and the wisdom right back. My
This
favorite.
is how cults typically start.
Yes.
I have never said I wouldn't. I
There
told my
was
brother.
that.
He said, "I'm nervous you are," and I said, "I am."
All I'm saying is that December 25th, 2024, Beyonce is releasing. It's going to get us some kind of news.
I love it.
So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like they are some type of
I feel like
symbol
you're doing this. And
of.
I feel like you're doing this as the two women, but that's not what you mean. You don't really mean this as Beyonce and Taylor, but
it's
I love you though.
in their power here. It's
Okay, enough.
favorite Taylor Swift song. Favorite Taylor Swift song is "Look What You Made Me Do." Reputation. Still waiting for that. She hasn't released that. She's holding on to it.
She's
got.
waiting for her birthday. Your prison.
I know.
release
So
day.
I've already. I'm like, okay, is it going to be Christmas? It's going to be the tour's coming to an end. So it's got to be. All she's got left is her name and
She
her
leaves little
reputation.
nuggets of hints.
Mhm.
She
for-
does.
for her people.
Do you think she's really dating Travis?
Yeah.
Like they're like.
Yeah.
Man, okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to last, but they're certainly feeling.
It's
it right
not
now.
like she was dying down and needed some publicity.
No,
Like,
no.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think her and Brittany Mahomes are really beefing?
I don't think she really cares for her very much. I mean, Taylor knows how to be fake when she needs to. I can tell when she's being fake.
Okay.
Oh, can you?
I can.
Mm.
Yeah. I love this
I
jacket.
see
You look
Demetra's
real
hopped
cute in
on.
it.
It's for your.
It is very cute. It's very pretty.
It's my Planned Parenthood pink.
I love it. It's cute. I've turned into more of a purple, dark purple pink. You look in my apartment, and I'm like, what happened to me?
You know the crazy
It's
thing is I hate
y'all.
pink, but I wear it.
It is.
Don't blame that on us. Just kidding, you blame it on me.
We needed a good.
You know,
We
pink.
we have 9 minutes.
Really, that went by
Yeah,
fast.
Did you have to deal with a lot of fighting? I did, yeah.
And TYC was more fighting amongst people, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it was
so
all
too.
the time.
I mean,
I
even if you
heard that
didn't
they
want
had
to.
my play brother, Lenise Haynes, Shine, I love you, said that they would circle up and the laws would put them together to fight.
Mhm.
Even
That's
Like,
one of the
yeah.
reasons they got closed down because the wardens
Right.
were doing fight
Like
clubs.
Yeah.
gladiator. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People even to this day, people be like, "Well, do you love soft? Yeah, fuck with me
Like
if you
the
want
beds
to.
on
I
and
will."
stuff, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You had
straight
to
up.
fight to protect yourself.
Mhm.
It was like,
Wow.
Yeah, it was all the
Wow.
time. The level of violence that I witnessed and experienced in those 2 years, like
As a kid.
all the year, yes, and all the years in TDCJ do not compare to those 2 years.
mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I mean, I feel like you were literally fighting for
Mhm.
your life. Like
Mhm.
Well,
fight
Neala,
staff, have to
yeah.
fight each other.
Like hiding and
Mhm.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I've done stuff that I'm not proud of, but I don't know if it's my sick way of like justifying it. But in my head at, 15, 13 was
Mhm.
I have to prove myself so you don't mess with me,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I'm in a room with 3 girls and they are all friends
Yeah.
and I am
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do something crazy to be like, leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
And you had to, and you know that video where it says, "Not too much on my girl," and now
Mhm.
what you gonna say? And she's like, "What she said," and it's like, and she's like, "No, take your hands, like you got to do that, like look out, motherfucker."
Mhm.
Like I laughed about it, but the truth of the matter was that really, really articulated like my experience in TYC was because it. If I didn't have the other women around me, the other girls, like even though they were part of the
Mhm.
the violence, it was still like trying to teach each other how to like I didn't know.
Or even if I know I put myself in one situation that was very dangerous. And I'm like, why did I do that? But like, and it doesn't really make sense as an adult. But I let this girl, she rocked my shit. Like, but I was just like, I'm gonna let y'all see that I can at least take a hit.
Yeah.
Like when you
Mhm.
talk about going yell, it was like
Yeah.
everything was ringing. And I remember even the staff were like, oh, she can handle that.
Yeah.
And no one ever, like it was just like,
Yeah.
I think somebody was like, oh, she a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I saw
Yeah.
it coming. I was like, well, we're just gonna take this.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
mean, like that was like okay, so Marci's like, oh, you never got in trouble in TDCJ. I didn't, right?
Mhm.
Like TYC taught me how to get down and stay out of the way. But I remember when a girl, like, she was mad. She was like, and she was coming up to the table, and we were eating lunch, and I was like, fuck, I got it. She said, pow! I mean, boom! Everybody scattered. Steph started screaming, and I was like, what do I do? And so, she knocked over like the drinks and the food. And so I just was like, and I just kept eating. And everybody was like leaving and screaming. They tackled the girl and she's like, fuck you, bitch. And I'm just sitting there eating. And the staff is like, Toon, get up. And I said, I'm not done. And I just kept eating.
And they were like, that bitch is crazy.
And then I slowly went to my room and a girl went to say, she came back 2 days later. She was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just upset. And I was like, it's all good. Everybody's like, you crazy.
Yeah.
No, so okay, so you get what I'm saying.
Yes, like,
yes. And calmness was actually psychological warfare.
yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna act, I'm gonna make you wonder.
I remember.
Yeah.
They're like, you just took a hit, like straight
up.
boom.
Yeah, it was, I'll never forget, it was this side.
Yeah.
It was right there, and I was just like,
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
hmm.
Vision blurred.
Inside, you're like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you had to. 'Cause, yeah.
because if people thought you were like crazy, but like functional,
Mhm.
like like I don't know what she's gonna do then.
Yep.
And
I think
that was a
too, I
protection.
talk too much too. Like how y'all see me like advocating, that was me too. So I think after a while they realized we're probably not going to do the things so we can do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's your aunt.
That is.
And we're
Sorry,
wrapping
guys.
up anyway.
Sorry, we got this like traumatic fight.
Oh, girl, I had nails in the jaw. Yeah. No.
I
Well,
took that like
bring it on.
And we're all good.
I mean,
I'm gonna need to like go to therapy about this.
gosh.
so we'll be presenting tomorrow.
How dangerous women and how we're not dangerous.
Yes. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. This is Angel. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. We know you have to get. We're gonna play the little Can you figure that out?
Ba-dum-bum.
Outro? No, not you.
Oh,
singing.
the X. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Go.
what do I do? What do I put?
Go to.
Like, in stream?
No.
I said now,
No.
oh,
Go to.
look what you made me
Design.
do.
Oh, here we go.
Over on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one.
Here.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Bye, guys.
Out with us on the Rec Yard.